Welcome to FPL Potato Me, where all your fantasy Premier League needs can be met. This episode we'll be talking about budget players, going by position to position to see how we can fit in more premium players for our bench, so on and so forth. The starters, let's see. So starting with goalkeepers, budget players. So this season FPL has done us all a service. Well, not a service. They're trying to tempt us. They've really made goalkeeper prices very, very, very affordable. What do you think, Hokkien Me? Uncle Hokkien Me?
For keeper, normal leh. I feel keeper is
What do you mean by normal?
leh.
Last season you had Alisson and Ederson at 6 mil. So now they're both 5.5. They've really reduced the prices and made things very
Because they
tempting for all of
increase a
us.
lot of other prices, man. They need to
Sure.
to have enough 100 million.
Sure. I mean, obviously there's still very, just normal prices lah. Like Sa is still at 5. Ramsey, he's went from 4.5 to 5.
Yep.
But another interesting player who isn't technically budget, but for a big team that's a budget is, of course, Mendy, Chelsea's Edouard Mendy at 5 mil, who's become very popular, very attractive for a lot of people in their drafts. He was in my first draft, I think. Yeah, he was in my first draft. How about you, Johnny? What do you think about Edouard Mendy at 5 mil? I would classify that as a budget. I would classify that as a budget.
It's 25 for the FPL population, 25.6% player by him. So it's worth it because
very popular,
Chelsea clean sheet also quite a lot.
Yeah, but so what were you saying?
So you see the top four, the 3 is premium player. Only Mendy is at 5 million. So that's why a lot of people buy him.
Yeah, so I mean, there's no other way to put it. It really is a budget pick at 5. At
so
5.
Now you have to think of rather you get 5 million keeper, so you can
5 million goalkeepers. What kind of strategy is that?
No,
that's a lot.
Either 5 million. There's 3 ways lah.
Okay.
One way is you get one premium, the Alisson, Ederson, and Lloris.
5.5.
These three is 5.5.
Yeah.
Then you get one enable keeper.
Okay, so that'll be 9.5. Okay. Get a 4 million sub.
Or you get 5 million, so you can adjust according to feature.
That's 10 million, man. That's 10 million on goalkeepers. That's a lot of money, man.
It's one way what you can choose. You can play, or you get 5 million and one 4 million keeper. So that would be 9 million. It's either 9.5 or 10.
So the fourth option will be you get a 4.5 and a 4 as a reserve of that, which I am leaning towards. I think like the biggest budget keeper who is also very popular currently, David Raya from Brentford. He's only 14.1% owned, but the interesting thing about his stats was he was injured for. So obviously there's a caveat here lah. Last season he was injured for a long time, right? But his points per game is actually higher than Edouard Mendy. His points per game, I think it's like 3.9 to like Mendy's 3.8 or something like this.
I think he get a lot of man of the match, right? Clean sheet save.
Yeah, and he was the keeper in the beginning at the end of season when Brentford did well. So he clearly makes a difference in Brentford's defense, and also that like his distribution is very, very good. His distribution is excellent. So I think he is going to be in my game week 1 draft. I mean, of course, barring injuries and all this. At 4.5. That like you were saying in the previous video about how another strategy is to keep 0.5 or 1 mil available for in your squad in case of price rises or price drops, that kind of thing, if you wanted to switch to a player that's suddenly on red hot form. So in that way I'll have a 4.5 keeper and a 4 mil whatever keeper, then that's 9.5 for my keepers, and then I have money for other positions. So I think that I think he's the best budget pick for a goalkeeper. Obviously, there are others. There's the favorite Sanchez, Robert Sanchez from Brighton. But I'm not too sure about Robert Sanchez because Brighton has lost Bissouma, their defensive midfielder. I don't know how that will affect Brighton's defense.
Yeah, Is it Pickford also 4.5 only?
4.5, but like you said, Everton's defense. You've predicted that Everton might go down this season, which not many. I mean, some people are talking about it. Henderson at 4.5. Henderson at 4.5. That's interesting. I mean, we'll be talking about promoted teams later, but the thing about Henderson is Nottingham Forest are a mixed bag because they have like 6 or 7 new players. Because last season when they won the playoffs, I think they had a lot of loan players, right? So it's a lot of change. They're in transition, so it's really hard to say. Who knows? Who knows with them? They're not. Yeah, who knows? Of the 3 promoted teams, Bournemouth is the more sort of lockdown defense type. But who knows? Another ever favorite for you at least, Guayita. Guayita from Palace is also at 4.5 still. Are you interested this season in Guayita? They have a terrible run of fixtures to begin with, though.
Yeah, lor. That's why. Then how to buy?
Yeah, maybe second half.
Not terrible lah. For the first 10 weeks, they only got 4 difficult.
4 out of 10 is pretty. 4 out of 10 is pretty bad. Isn't 4 out of 10 pretty bad?
A lot lah. They are featured. Shag.
Shag.
They versus the top 6 team in the first 10 weeks. Yeah, what
the
fuck?
That's why I say terrible runs.
1,
terrible
2,
runs.
3, 4. Yeah, they versus the top 6 teams. Yeah.
Shag. Terrible. Why not terrible? Terrible, eh?
Terrible. Yeah. Shag.
Terrible.
Demoralizing if they lose all 6. Really? They lose all 6. Fighting for
relegation. But for Henderson, if this is for wildcard, for Henderson, actually, it could be interesting if you wildcarded like from week 6. Because from week 6 onwards, right, Forest actually have a very, very decent run of fixtures. But the other problem is 13, 14, they'll play Liverpool, Arsenal. But, depends. Come to week 6, Forest is doing well. Maybe you'll be interested.
First 5 weeks first. Actually, we normally talk about 10 weeks, 6, 7 weeks. First 5 weeks, we see how they perform first. Especially
what I'm saying about week 6 is that if you were interested in Dean Henderson if you were to wildcard, he could be a wildcard keeper for you if you wanted to shake things up.
Yeah. So actually, to me, is either you get a 5. To me, is either you get a 5 million keeper,
which has to be Edouard Mendy.
5 million, either Mendy or every 5 million, 5, either one.
Yeah.
5 million and you get a 4 million keeper.
Yeah.
Or you get a 4.5.
Yeah.
And get a 4 million keeper.
So 5 mil is definitely Edouard Mendy. 5.5, who will you go for?
I won't buy 5.5 keeper.
Okay, 4.5. If 4.5, who? I mean, I'm definitely going for Raya, I think. How about you?
Yeah.
As a budget selection, budget pick. I mean, you were very hot on Henderson until we saw the fixtures.
Maybe I get Newcastle keeper.
Newcastle. Who would the Newcastle keeper is going to be a 5 mil? It's going to be Nick Pope, man. Nick Pope.
Not Durab. What Durab?
Dubravka. They bought Nick Pope from Burnley. Nick Pope's going to be the starting keeper. There's no question.
Oh, sorry. Then I cock up already.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be the starting keeper.
Then Raya already lor.
You're all the same already lah.
Raya lor. Because Brighton one Sanchez he sell the defensive midfield, the defense don't know already leh.
That's the problem.
If not, their defender also quite cheap. The Dunk and the centre back, the Dunk also not bad one.
Lewis Dunk, who is actually, that's a great transition onto budget defenders. Lewis Dunk is a budget defender at 4.5. People have talked about being a bit surprised at that.
Cucurella
is not 4.5. I'm talking about budget defenders. Budget defenders, my man.
A lot all their defense only Cucurella is 5 million. The rest are 4.5.
Yeah, so but if you're gonna get a defender from Brighton, I think Lewis Dunk is the most sealed. I think he's gonna be the top. You won't worry about rotation.
But I just worry Brighton don't have the the defensive midfield, and I scared they start to get cocked up here.
Yeah. But what?
I won't think of Brighton. Say so much, I also won't think of Brighton. Have to
okay,
see.
So who would you think about? I mean, so
Nico
some
Williams.
people, some people will have like big defenses, but I think a lot of us will have
Nico
Williams. Yeah, this is a very, very big name that everybody's been talking about for a squad enabler.
And it's so cheap.
At 4 million, he's just moved from Liverpool to Nottingham Forest, and it's very exciting because he was on loan at Fulham the second half of the season, and he scored a absolute cracker, absolute worldie, long range shot. I think he was averaging like one shot a game or something like that. So this season he'll be playing as right wing back for Nottingham Forest, because Nottingham Forest plays with that mostly a 3-4-1-2, I believe, something like that. So he'll be playing as a right wing back. So yeah, I think he's gonna be the Livramento of this season.
I think mostly a lot of people also had him at 4 million. You just don't need to care whether he's enabled or what. You just put him in He price hard to drop to 3.9, 3.8
I don't think he's gonna drop. I think he's gonna go up I think he's gonna be like Livramento. He's just because he's so cheap, and he's gonna be a starter. I think he's gonna be
he's gonna be a starter.
So he's gonna be this season's Livramento in terms of price hike, and that will add squad value even if you don't start him. So for someone like Hokkien Me who lost so much squad value, I think Nico Williams is a must for you.
I definitely will buy him.
Yeah, so that's.
But the rest of my 4 defense is still premium It's still premium. I can't change them
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I think the best 4 mil option is Nico Williams. There's no doubt.
Yes.
It depends. Depends if like Joe Rodon goes somewhere, or maybe even Tanganga. There's been talk about Tanganga or Rodon going to some other club, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. What happens if Eric Bailly starts starting for Man United? I don't think that's going to happen, but he's also at 4 mil. Interesting price. Eric Bailly, one of your favorite players. He's at 4 mil, but I don't think he's going to be starting. I don't think he's going to be starting.
Go for it. No.
I won't buy it depends on if.
Why would I buy a Man United centre back?
I'm just saying at 4 mil, who's out there? Brandon Williams, maybe another club like Norwich, like one of the promoted teams might get him. Who knows? We'll keep an eye on that. But 4 mil, I think you're definitely right. As many people have mentioned,
only one option only Other
Nico
than
Williams.
The team,
Nico Williams.
One option only
and he's not. He's a right wing back, so he's gonna give you some attacking options.
One more, Leicester one Vestergaard.
Yeah, but he's a centre back, and I don't think he's gonna be starting. I don't think he's going to be starting.
So Nico Williams is the only choice.
For now,
I think a lot of people will buy him.
Yeah, for now. He's definitely going to be in a lot of people's squads. There's no question.
Yes. Either as enable or rotation or whatever. Yes.
Yeah, there's no question there. He's already 14.2% owned. On to 4.5s. If you're going to have like maybe a bigger midfielder, a bigger belly in the middle of your team, many options at 4.5 as well. In my first draft, I think I had Tomi Yasuo. He's also, he's very popular for a lot of people. So Arsenal budget options include Tomi Yasuo and once again Ben White, which Uncle Hokkien Me had for most of last season, and he benefited, especially towards the end of the season. Yeah. That you really benefited from Ben White last season. That was really great for you.
Ben White saved me a lot of time. Extra 4 points. Sometimes he get man of the match. Not man of the match. He get bonus point.
Bonus points like 1 or 2 for when they get clean sheets and stuff like that. And some other 4.5 options. I mean, Crystal Palace as usual. Most of the defenders like Anderson, Gehi, Mitchell, they're all 4.5. But the problem with Crystal Palace defenders is that they don't really have many attacking returns. They're cheap, but not many attacking returns. So that's there. But if they have a good run of fixtures after their first 10, if for your wild card or whatever it is, if people are injured and all that, that might be an option. Other 4.5s, if Perisic is not fit or whatever it is, Sessegnon at 4.5 as a left wing back could be very interesting. But I think the most interesting 4.5 options are actually the Leicester defenders. So you have Castagne at 4.5. I think you have is James Justin at 4.5? No, he's probably at 5.
Yeah.
No,
4.5.
James Justin is also 4.5. Yeah. So they are fullbacks, attacking fullbacks. I think this season, I mean, it's first game week, we're all going to be interested in the top 5, top 6 teams. But this season, I think Leicester, they're bound to do better than last season. I'll be very surprised if they do worse than last season, because last season they were just too busy with Europe, and Brendan Rodgers, for whatever, I mean, and they had so many injury crises, one defender injured after another defender. If everybody, I mean, I don't think they'll have that much bad luck this season. So if people keep fit, Castagne, Justin, they could be excellent bombing forward fullbacks. At 4.5, I think there will be definitely better options than the Crystal Palace boys. So that's something to keep in mind as the season progresses. And finally, are the Brentford defenders. Brentford has a good run of fixtures to begin with. That's why I'm looking at Raya. But if you are brave and you want to double up, Pontus Jensen at 4.5 is a very, very decent option. Pontus Jensen. We know from last season that a lot of attacking returns, especially from set pieces and things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. Rico Henry, I'm not totally sure because I think they just bought a new left back. So let's
I won't buy Rico Henry. I tried Rico Henry. I put him for 5 weeks.
When did you have him? Yeah, I don't remember this.
You give me shit. Then after that, when I sell him, he start to perform. He score one goal, assist.
This was what in the beginning of the season.
Very irritating.
Yeah,
beginning of the season.
Oh, okay. I think Aaron Hickey is gonna take his place. If I'm not wrong. I think Aaron Hickey. It's hard to say now.
Actually, you need to think of first is mostly what formation you want to play. Whether you want to play 4-5-1.
Sure. I mean, but we're talking about budget players, so it depends. Whichever formation that you want to choose. Like for example, you're saying 4-5-1. Then maybe you want to have a budget defender like Nico Williams on the bench.
Yeah.
Or if you want to play 5-3-2, then you want to have budget midfielders. So which we will move into now, budget midfielders. So a very, very, very popular one, which we saw in my first draft for budget midfielders, is obviously Andreas Pereira, who is now at Fulham. Yeah, he is almost 20% owned now because I think like Nico Williams, I think he's the best enabler at that price, 4.5. He's going
really,
to be.
Man?
I'm sorry?
Really, man?
Who else? You tell me. 4.5. Who else is better than?
Let me see.
Yeah, you tell me.
Jaloba. Jaloba.
Who's Daloba?
No lah, buy Andre lah. You're right. Wait, let me see. 4.5.
I think Andreas is
the name mostly also be here one the name.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you don't really get many starters at 4.5 mil, so this is really a boon. It's similar to Nico Williams. I think like maybe a 4.5 starter might be maybe Mendy at Leicester, but he's a defensive mid. I mean, Andres Pereira is an attacking mid, and it doesn't get any better than that at 4.5. If you're in a crunch, in a pinch, if one of your players suddenly get injured, you need it from the bench. Would you rather have a defensive mid, or would you rather to have Andreas Hulgebam Pereira?
Yeah, rather than him, they have Ramsey. Ramsey 5.5. I'd rather have him or Pereira.
I mean, it depends. I mean, depends on your squad structure, what you're doing. Right. If you are playing like a 5-3-2 or 5-4-1, you want to have the one midfielder that you're never gonna play, then I think Andres Pereira is gonna be on your bench.
But FPL very fucked up. Put him as Fulham player, right? But you click on his profile, he's wearing Manchester jersey.
They already added the disclaimer at the bottom. Some kit designs are mere placeholders. All home shirts will be faithfully reproduced here once kits are launched. You have to wait for the kits to be launched, walao. Patience.
Wow. I just adjust my keeper to Mendy 5 million. Then I just anyhow put a 4 million keeper. Then I buy Nico Williams.
I
Doherty changed to Nico Williams. Then my Ramsey I changed to Andre Pereira. I now got 2 million spare.
Yeah, man. That's what this episode's all about. Budget players, so that you can have extra money to play with.
My team now, yeah.
So we see it live now. Uncle Hokkien Me, can you share your screen? Show us what you're doing with your team.
No, I doing on my handphone. Can you see?
Can't see shit.
Can't see shit. Can't see, man.
How to see lah, walao eh. Okay, maybe. The hell.
Now can see what?
Okay, do again.
No, you don't cut off my screen. I cannot see what I screenshot. What I'm showing. Your full screen.
Okay, that's there.
Can see what?
Okay lah. I mean, kind of. Okay, this is a better view. Yeah, I see. Okay, so Uncle Hokkien Me, yeah, keep your hand up. You just went to the gym, so you have the muscles for it. You have Mendy, keeper at 5. Then you have a 4 mil keeper. Nico Williams at 4. Then you have Tierney, Cancelo, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Perisic. And then in midfield, you have Son. Keep the hand up. Don't move.
Yeah.
You have Son, your premium at 12. I mean, that's because you have Son, you don't have Salah. Lah. Then you have Luis Diaz.
I have Salah, I also have 1 million spare.
This is true. Bruno Guimaraes at 6. Andres Pereira at 4.5. Pedro Nato at 5.5. And then in your attackers, for your attackers, you have Enabler Taylor at 4.5. Jesus at 8 mil. And then Holland at 11.5.
Hello, I got 2
so yeah,
million.
that's an excellent budgeted team. I mean, I would say then you would upgrade.
No, I can use this 2 million strengthen my mid some more.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I would say you would, either upgrade Pedro Neto or Bruno Guimaraes.
Maybe Neto I put there, but Bruno I can change to mouse.
Yeah. Anywho, we'll talk about our second, third drafts later. Let's finish off budget midfielders. Any other budget midfielders that you might have been looking at? 4.5 again, best Andres Pereira. But how about at 5 or 5.5?
At 5 million, let me take a look at 5.
So you had mentioned
other than newly promoted team, I don't really know their midfield. Let's say
you had just mentioned that is it Anthony or Anthony Elanga at 5 from Man United. I mean, he did well for a lot of people as a budget option last season.
He's not starter now. I don't know
but
whether.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Rashford and Sancho will get more
unless
Rashford
start to get disappointing again this season.
Yeah, that's true. But he's a
but
standout.
I believe under ETH he will perform.
Yeah, we'll see. Who will perform? Who you believe will perform?
Rashford.
Or Rashford. Okay, in that case, we can just before we talk about 5.5, we can just jump to a big one. Like, it doesn't seem like a budget at 6.5, but I think any midfielder under 8, we should look at it as sort of, and depending on the team. So as a big-ish team, top 5, top 6 team, 6.5 Rashford is a very enticing option, especially like Hokkien Me just said, if ETH can get him to start performing. I mean, it wasn't long ago that he was scoring 20 goals a season, right? Or, I mean, even if he scores 10 goals a season. He would be a very attractive option. 6.5. Oh my gosh. Like, if this whole Ronaldo thing doesn't work out, if Tuchel, not Tuchel, ETH, Ten Hag has to rotate Martial and Rashford as center forwards, I mean, it could get very interesting. Could get very, very interesting. So let's definitely keep an eye out for that 6.5. I think he's the best 6.5 option that's there. There's no question for a big team.
Yeah.
Okay, going back down.
Actually,
I'm sorry?
6.5 only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players, 6.5 only. 7 midfield, 6.5 million.
Sure. Oh yeah. There are not many 6.5s out there.
Only
seven. Only 7. I mean, let's round up the 6.5s but another 6.5 mainstay would be a very boring option. Would be James Ward-Prowse, but he would be somebody that you just have to keep in the team. You cannot switch him out too much because his returns are a bit erratic. he could have like maybe 2 points, 1 point, one game.
For me, I won't buy him lah. For now, I will rather buy Allen and Maximin.
Along Saint-Maximin from Newcastle. Yeah, he's a definitely very exciting pick. Between Rashford and Saint-Maximin, I'm also quite conflicted. I mean, if you wanted to have a 6.5 mil, because I think he, I mean, we talked a bit about this, I think, when we were talking about our first drafts, but he can he can get very exciting, especially if Newcastle, I mean, if Callum Wilson can keep fit, or they get Alexander Isak, they get, someone who's like deadly in front of the box. I think his assists potential and the fact that he's classified as a midfield again this season, I think that can be very, very promising. Other than that, I mean, Odegaard, I'm not too interested in Odegaard. Although his stats from last season show that, he has a lot of sort of creative potential, assist potential. But I don't know. I'm not very interested or enticed by that. Like, I would rather go 0.5 down to a 6 mil and get a Martinelli. What do you think?
I won't get. Actually, for me, I won't get. I won't get 6.5 lah. I rather get.
I mean, you have a 6 mil midfielder in your squad now. So, like, if you were to choose someone else, or do you think Bruno Guimaraes is the best choice out of the 6 mil, 6.5s out there?
No lah. For me, I won't get. How to say my thinking very conflicting actually. I actually want to get 3 good midfield.
Okay.
Then just 2 starter but very cheap, like Vieira, like Nato, very cheap. Okay. So their price won't fluctuate too much.
Okay.
Because mid really the first
I mean, so that's there about your Pedro Nato position. But how about your Bruno Guimaraes position? Because you have a 6 mil midfielder there. So
I can upgrade to mouse.
Oh, so you'd either go from 6 mil to 8, but you definitely won't have a 6.5 like Rashford or Saint-Maximin.
Yeah, or I will choose another 5.5.
Or another 5.5. Okay, so we talked about 4.5 on which the standard option being Andres Hulgeman Pereira. We talked about 6.5s, which you have Rashford, James Ward-Prowse, maybe Saint-Maximin, or if you wanted to go to Odegaard. Let's now talk about the 5.5s and the 6s. At 5 only Ilanga really and nobody else. So 5.5, 6s. So you said if not Bruno Guimaraes, you go down to 5.5. So let's go down to a 5.5 first. So you have Pedro Nato currently, who is clearly the most popular option. He's at 22.1% ownership. So yeah, tell me, who would you go down then? If not Pedro Nato, who else? Souček at West Ham. Yeah, I mean, he had a solid season. I mean, but I think
he's the only DM that keeps scoring goal.
I mean, he's a box to box more than a DM. He really pops into the box a lot, especially for set pieces and things like that. And West Ham were very strong and probably will continue to be very strong at set pieces, corners, free kicks, that kind of thing this season. But I think he's similar to Ward-Prowse. You can't. It's either you leave him in the team and don't take him out. Because if you transfer in, transfer out, right, you will lose that points. Because these players are like, they're a bit erratic, because they're scoring from set pieces. They're not like consistent kind of scorers, so you just have to leave them in your squad.
Yeah,
but a bit boring, that kind of thing. Not very exciting. But another 5.5 option would be, I think, Fornals. If Lanzini leaves, I think Fornals could be very interesting. If Lanzini leaves, so we have to sort of keep an eye out on that. How about one of your other favorite players, Fred at Man United for 5.5?
Man United
he just got a beautiful chip. Some fans describe it.
Don't talk about friendly lah. You can score whatever lah. When EPL start, it perform like shit also like that.
I mean, he did have a couple of games where he was red hot fire last season. Like, it was a run of like 3 or 4 games where he was just scoring and assisting every other game. So it might be similar to James Ward-Prowse then in that sense. You might just have to keep him in your team so that when he explodes, you'll have his points. But 5.5, I think the standout option is probably actually Anthony Gordon from Everton. Outside of Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto obviously is the standout
you are talking talk. Don't have Richarlison already. You still buy Gordon, zero finishing one. I won't lah. I won't buy Gordon. Buy him for what, yeah? You cock, yeah. Buy him for what, yeah? Every week get 2 points or 3 points. Enable.
I'm not advocating for people to buy him. I'm just saying, in terms of a hierarchy, who are your best 5.5 mids? So after Pedro Nato,
5.5, you are mad lah. Buy him 5.5, crazy.
I'm saying after Pedro Nato, the best option could be Anthony Gordon because he's an attacking midfielder, a winger.
Then why you don't buy Ali?
Dele Alli?
Yeah.
Is Dele Alli also at 5.5?
Yeah. Then why you don't buy him?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not as convinced by Dele Alli as Gordon.
Yeah, buy him 5.5. I must be crazy.
I'm not telling you to buy him. I'm just saying that after Pedro Nato,
this guy last season people buy him because he only 5 million or 4.5. Now go to 5.5. Madness. He worth over 5.5.
I think he is worth 5.5 because Lampard trusts him a lot. He's on set pieces. If DCL can get back up to form, then he might start returning more. And he's a year older. He was very young last year. He's only what? I don't know. I'm not telling you to buy him. I'm just saying, out of all the 5.5s, another option at Everton could be Damari Gray. But obviously, we're not going to go on Everton. We'll have to watch and see. But I'm just saying, in terms of budget options out there. And you mentioned another 5.5, Jacob Ramsey, who had a breakout season last term. So let's see whether he continues that development. That could be interesting. He is another one who explodes. When he explodes, what, 14, 15, 16 points, that kind of a thing. So we can keep an eye out on that. But I think, that's it for 5.5s. 6 mil midfielders. So you have Bruno Guimaraes. I talked a bit about Said Benrahma. I think he is a good price at 6 mil. Anybody else that you might be interested at 6 mil?
Don't know he will start or not. Gallagher.
Oh yeah, he was a great option at Crystal Palace.
He go back from loan Crystal Palace, now go back to Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, if he stays at Chelsea, it's really hard to say. I mean, one could arguably say then Mason Mount and him might start changing, rotating between the two of them. It's really very hard to say. Well, we'll have to see what happens there. Really have to keep an eye on what happens with Conor Gallagher at Chelsea. Arsenal, Martinelli is also a popular pick. I'd rather
rotation. Now they even buy Vieira. They got a lot of meat.
I don't think he will rotate with Vieira. The one he'll rotate with will be ESR, Emil Smith Rowe. Yeah, but I think he's more exciting than Smith Rowe. That's definitely there. But yeah, that's
the rotation. So you don't confirm they will start. Sometimes someone now they got users. They haven't sell their striker, right? Their striker still there, right?
Who? Arsenal?
Lacazette.
Lacazette has been sold, but Nketiah is there.
Oh,
so they do have two
strikers.
So
they normally, I think they will play one striker one, then the mid support.
Yeah, so it'll be Martinelli
and striker, then the mid support. Yeah,
Martinelli and Smith Rowe. So that's there for the 6 mil. Any other 6 mil? I mean, you obviously have Bruno Guimaraes in your team. Will you stick with him, or are you thinking of upgrading, etc., etc.?
Yeah, don't know. I really not confident about mid. If I can, I buy all 5 million mid.
5 million. Well, another 5 million mid could be a Joe Willock at Newcastle if he plays again. So hard to say because now Newcastle's squad has gotten bigger and bigger. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that.
See, maybe I go for Mount or Madison. I see
Mount or Madison at 8 mil. Well, that's beyond the budget options.
Maybe.
Beyond the budget options.
If I go for Mount, I don't have any spare cash. That contradict what I say.
Contradict what you say about keeping money in the squad. Well, you could maybe go for Grealish at 7. I mean, that. So just to round out the midfields, I think Grealish is a budget option at 7 for Man City. If he plays or he has a breakout season, 7 mil is going to be an incredible price for him.
Yeah, I'd rather buy Silva. Why I buy Grealish?
Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just saying because like traditionally, Man City players it's typically their second season they have a breakout season. So at 7 mil, Grealish could be very very exciting. And I think as a goal scorer, Grealish would be more exciting than Bernardo lah. I mean, but if Bernardo
I
has
feel Grealish more take on assist, Silver assist and attack more, score goal more.
Bernardo Silva is also 7 mil, so yeah, that's a tough choice there. But again,
for me what I'm thinking, my personal opinion, Grealish more of a playmaker. He try to keep create, but Silva he go into box even more.
I guess I don't know, man. I don't know about that, man. I mean, I think Grealish is the more direct player. Bernardo Silva just happened to pop in the right places last season.
Always. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know whether he'd be able to keep that up because his stats were actually not that good, Bernardo Silva. So it was like he was really overperforming his stats last season. Whereas Grealish was really like he had a very underwhelming season. And he said it himself, he was a lot more hesitant in previous times where he would take shot. He didn't take a shot. He would just pass back the ball because, first season at Man City, he wasn't too sure about himself. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But let's round out.
Foden keep start, I'll buy Foden. 8 million also worth it.
Foden. But let's round out the budget options with strikers. Budget options for strikers. I think the clear standout, which a lot of people also already have, is the Brighton forward, Undav at 5.5. So some people have 4.5 midfield strikers. So 5.5 for Dennis Undav. He's a popular option. I've seen, although only 4.5% owned. But let's see. If you want a 5.5 striker,
I saw a 5.5 striker cannot bluff by you last season. Buy him, no return, 0 return.
Who?
Broja lah.
Oh, Broja. Broja was 5. I don't think it was 5.5. I think it was just 5.
5.5. No,
bless you.
5.5. Go back to Chelsea already. 5.5.
I mean, this season. I mean, the fact that he's at Chelsea and we don't know where he's going, I don't think he's an option. But Dennis Undav, I think he's going to be starter for Brighton. So if you wanted to have a starting forward, then the cheapest will be 5.5 for Undav. But other than that, I don't think there are many budget options, low prices, strikers. Again, traditionally priced very high.
All the 4.5, 5 million is
yeah, they're all just enabling types. At 6 mil, then you start to have some starters, right? Yeah. Or I mean, you at 5.5 you do have starters like Undav.
Who 5.5 is starter?
I just told you. I just spent 5 minutes talking about Dennis Undav at Brighton.
Oh.
They bought him because they couldn't score goals last season, and so they bought Dennis Undav. Denise Undav? I have no clue.
The only one.
Was that?
The only one.
Yeah, they bought him Union. They bought him from Union SG from Belgium. He scored a lot of goals last season, but in the last 2 seasons. But it's hard to say, like whether he can make the step up to EPL. So we'll, keep let's pay some attention to that. See what happens to that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But at 6 mil, there are some interesting options at 6 mil.
For me, I only see one only.
Okay, who is it?
The Brentford striker.
Who?
I don't know how to pronounce.
Mbumo.
Alright.
I don't know, man. 6 mil. I think you'd rather just go up another. What Tony's at? What 7 mil? I think Tony's at 7 mil. Yeah, you'd rather go 1 mil up, go up to Tony. But as a budget at 6 mil, I think Dominic Solanke is better at Bournemouth. He was their top scorer. He scored like 50% of their goals, or close to 50% of their goals. So if Bournemouth are going to score goals, half of it is going to come through Solanke. So I think he will be the other budget option at 6 mil. I think Mbomo, especially as someone who owned Mbomo last season, I don't think he's worth it. Because he played, his position is a forward, even in the game, but he drifts deep very much. He goes deep very much. Like Tony is the more out and out striker. So I think he really is not worth it. Another option would be another promoted team, Taiwo Awoniyi, 6 mil. They just bought him. He also scored a lot of goals before coming. he will be the big number 9 for Forest. So that will be something to keep an eye out on. A very, very good player next to him is Brennan Johnson. But he also drifts deep a lot. But he had great stats last season.
Actually, that's why all these players, all these players actually were the first 3 games, most important first 3 games. If you can, don't watch those favorite team or watch those all these newly promoted team how they play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for now, we have to go on, their performance last season. So, for example, Brennan Johnson at 6 mil from Nottingham Forest, he had 18 goals and 10 assists last season. Obviously, it's the championship, so there's a championship and cup game, so there's a lot more games. And it's hard to say if he can make the step up. But he's a very good player. We've seen him scoring for Wales as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. But again, he's less of an out-and-out striker and more of a creative forward. So I don't know whether it could be worth that 6 mil or not. So that's that. But I think 6 mil, Solanke probably is the best option. If he keeps up what he did last season, he will be the main talismanic sort of focal point for Bournemouth. And Bournemouth don't score many goals, and he will sort of be the outlet.
But actually, you unless you want to have 2-star midfield, if not, you were able to have 1-star striker, then you 6 mil.
I know.
6.5 mil. Or one premium striker, 11 mil, 6.5 mil, 6 mil, 6.5 mil, and another one is enable again.
But not many options. So you don't have many options there.
4-5-1, you're going to play 4-5-1 or 4-4-2.
Yeah. So you don't have many options at 6.5.
You won't play 3-4-3 or 4-3-3.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could. But
see how you go. Which department you aiming for lah? You want to have more star midfield or striker average?
You're definitely right, Uncle Hokkien. It's really very much formation and squad dependent. So I mean, that's why we're running through these budget options to see, depending, if you want to play 4-5-1 or if you wanted to play 3-4-3, right?
And you have to keep in mind one more thing is you can't have too many enable and too less star player because you have to have minimum 2 options for captain.
Yeah, 2 premiums, which a lot of people have. So the popular choice now is Salah and Haaland. Hokkien Mi has Son and Haaland.
The best is you have 2 star player for captain. Then you have 1 average that maybe you can try to cap it to it's a gamble lah. Like maybe you have a 8 million midfield, you can cap him. Like Mouse, you can cap him.
Yeah.
If you start performing, you can cap him, man. Not many people will cap him. You gain point on that week. So 2 to me like 2.5 lah. So Mao maybe is counted as a 0.5. So you minimum have to have 2. So you cannot have all the 2 average player lor.
Yeah, that's definitely there. I mean, we're just running through budget players just to see what options are out there. And I think we've run through all the budget options. But another player that probably should be met, he isn't super budget, but at 8 mil for Arsenal, I think he's been underpriced. Gabriel Jesus, very underpriced.
That's why 56.3% people have it.
Yeah, very, very underpriced at 8 mil. If he's going to be the main striker for Arsenal, fighting for top 4, it is an incredible price. Very much underpriced.
Yeah.
8 mil.
Chelsea is out of option. They are striker. I won't even consider anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very expensive. Havertz at 8, but would you rather have Jesus or Havertz? I think I'd rather have Jesus for now, at least. Especially because Arsenal's fixtures are very, very good to begin with. Very good fixtures.
This is called what? No, if you die, even he never perform, you die with the rest of half of the league. No problem. Everybody die together. Right?
Everybody die together. Okay, on that note.
And I tell you, until now, only 56. By the time it go, 60% will have him. And
probably.
I think 60% of people will have Haaland and Jesus, these 2 players already.
Probably.
60% die together.
Okay, let's die together.
40% only. We can gain another point from there.
I'm definitely gonna have him in my first week.
You can afford to die together with the rest of the 60%, but you cannot afford don't have him. Then he suddenly bang bang bang, wow,
bang bang bang.
Then he score like wow, score goal like mad. Suddenly he perform. Then you miss out on him. You can afford to die together, but you cannot afford to miss him out.
It's true. Very true. You either die together or you bang 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 together.
You die together, everybody same point,
Yeah.
Correct. Then the difference is your defense different point. So the difference is lesser. But if you miss him out, he's gonna score a brace. Then he get bonus 2 point, 3 point.
The possibility is very high because Arsenal's fixtures are quite. I think they have the best run of fixtures for the first 4, 5, 6 games.
Then you miss him out. You're gonna miss a lot of points. Then you start off the first 2 weeks, you play catching already.
All right, man. On that note,
you are the same. You rather same playing field with the rest, or you start off the first 3 weeks. You start of the season. You start to play catching.
It's true. Very true. Okay. So on that note, we'll close out this episode on budget players. Thank you for listening. This is FPL Potato Me signing out. I'm Mushroom Head Potato, and this is
Hokkien Me.
Bye-bye. Let's die together.